don't
it
game and all this
doesn't.
stuff.
It doesn't, J-Dub. And if I can jump in, like, all these conversations and all this planning and scheming and strategizing and whatever that is, internally, that's what's come out. That's why all these news articles have happened over the past couple weeks. All of that is sort of angling at taking advantage of this broader new frontier and capitalizing on it, and somehow that making Xbox relevant and prominent again. When the reality is that PlayStation goes out and makes a box that's appealing, it's a brand that people trust, that resonates with people, that they want. It's desirable, it's sexy in a way. The console, it looks sexy. It's not just a rectangle black block, and the games on it they're exclusive, they are special, they are premium in terms of the quality, in terms of the availability, the accessibility on other platforms. You can't play it on PC until 6 months to a year later, if at all. That may change, but right now that's the case. And like, they have stuck to that and just hammered it so hard for like 5, 6, 7, 8 years on. Just, we do this, beating Xbox into submission. And Xbox is trying desperately to get out from under that palm. They can't do it. Like, they think that they can expand into these new horizons, and that's why they have nothing to say. Like, they had absolutely nothing to say today. Like, it basically amounted to, we're still in third place, we still don't have value prop, and we're evaluating and assessing that, and we're always looking for new ways to make things more appealing for Xbox gamers and put your games every. Nobody cares about that. Nobody cares about that the way they didn't care about it in 2013 when they got out there and said, "Oh, you can do this instead of DirecTV on your Xbox." Nobody cared about that then. It's like they're still repeating the same habits, the same patterns. Gamers want games. Living room console gamers want games on their box. They want the best games, and they want all the games on the box. And Xbox can't deliver on that, so they're trying to find another way to get into people's living rooms and to get into people's mind share. And I mean, as we saw with Stadia, like, people don't want to make that jump. Not the majority of people. It's just not appealing. People want what they want. And like, PlayStation has established that they can deliver on what people want. And it's a system and it's a methodology that works for them. It's a brand and strategy that works for them. And Jim Ryan got a bad rep, but boy, did he deliver on that strategy, and boy, did he deliver for PlayStation gamers. And Xbox just, they're trying everything that they can to sort of take advantage of markets that do not have a proof of concept. They don't have a proof of concept yet. And they think that they're going to go out and prove that because they went and bought King, and they've got all these, resources and all this money. I don't know that there's this swath of people that want to take advantage of all that. Like, I think that people want what is already available on another platform brought to you by another company, that Xbox can't do it as well. And that's just the way that it is.
Well, and the thing that I said as soon as it was over, I was like, if I was a hardcore Xbox fan, I would have not left that podcast feeling very satisfied, because all they did primarily was just repeat the talking points they've said for years. Play anywhere, cross-play, cross-save, Game Pass day and date. And it's like, okay, great. Like, you kind of convinced me these are value points 3, 4, and 5 years ago. If you're trying to affirm and really assert what is Xbox right now, when Sarah Bond said, we want people playing on Xbox to feel like they're going to get the world's best games. And then she just started randomly like bullet point listing stuff like Game Pass and cross progression. And they were like repeating themselves. There was something awkward about it. It was like they didn't have that much to say, because I really do feel they are very much so trotting out the marching orders of Microsoft.
Oh, yeah.
And they're trying to push that through that funnel and lens and, PR, Xbox talk speak. They're trying to say, well, Microsoft wants us to do this. How in the world do we position this and still sound like Xbox? Like I said, it was the most non-Phil Spencer. I always praise him. I'm like, he's a wordsmith. He's great in interviews. He's got great presence. He's always been so good. And this, I was like, this doesn't feel like Xbox. And it also doesn't feel like Phil Spencer. And it also just didn't feel like they were fermenting this idea or cementing this idea of like, you want to stay with us. It was like, we're going to take 4 games and put them out elsewhere. And then Diablo's coming to Game Pass. And then chat told me, she said the greatest technical leap on the next console. Well, that could be anything. That's not a performance leap. That, I mean, so now I'm thinking, well, golly, like I could see them making a killer
Golly gee.
handheld. I think that there's a handheld market potential growth, like Kirk's saying. It's an, maybe it's not proof of concept, but I think there's potentially huge growth for handhelds in the coming future. And I think Microsoft could be a killer competitor in there, because if they get that Surface team cranking out an amazing handheld, I would buy it.
People also buy multiple handhelds. Like, that's one of the things that when I see people praise Nintendo numbers, like I go, yeah, Nintendo, yeah, they're selling great. I'm not dogging on the numbers, but it's also, there's a hidden factor in terms of like how many gamers are actually that. I own multiple Nintendo Switches. Now, I would have only owned one Nintendo Switch if it hooked up to the television, but because it's a handheld, just like with the DS and the Game Boy and before, I buy multiple of their handhelds. And so them and Xbox go in that direction.